Hello everyone. So today we will be continuing the topic from our last video of chapter named as Fiber to Fabric. So let us start. So first we will be looking with the silk fiber. Silk fiber are also animal fibers. Silkworm spin the silk fibers. The rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk is called as sericulture. Okay, which means when we rear the silkworm to just for a particular aim of obtaining silk out of it, that process is called as sericulture. Like we have agriculture, it is the process in which we get the grains out of the plants. In the same way, this is the process in which we get the silk from silkworm, and this process is called as sericulture. The next is life history of silk moth. Now what is silk moth? Let us look into it. So this is the silk moth. This is adult female silk moth, which is the first stage of the life cycle, okay, of the life cycle of silk moth. This is the first stage in which the adult silk moth is present. The adult silk moth and the male silk moth, they mate and they lay eggs, okay. So the second stage is adult female silk moth lays eggs. In this picture you can see there is the silk moth and there are smaller, very small yellow colored eggs, and there are many eggs. So adult silk moth lays around 100 to thousands of eggs at a time. And stage 3 is eggs hatching out into larvae. So you can see in this picture there are this smaller black colored larvae which is coming out of the eggs. These larvae are fed onto the mulberry leaves. So now next stage is silkworm, which is also called as caterpillar, okay. So caterpillar, the larva keeps on feeding on the mulberry leaves, and then they grow up into the caterpillar, which is also called as silkworm. Next stage is cocoon. So this silkworm, it starts after a particular stage, it starts forming cocoon around itself, okay. It builds up the cocoon around itself. So this is the stage 5 of the life cycle. And the last stage is cocoon with developing pupa. And after the development of cocoon, after the making up of cocoon, the caterpillar inside the cocoon, it starts developing into pupa, and the pupa finally develops into a adult female or male moth, and then the adult moth comes out of the cocoon. So let us summarize the silk moth life cycle. So this is the first stage of adult silk moth. Then we have silk moth laying eggs. Then there is larval stage, when the larva comes out from the eggs. Then the caterpillar, when the larva develops themselves into the caterpillar, which is also called as silkworm. And then there is development of cocoon around the silkworm. Then there is development of pupa into the cocoon, and then the pupa ultimately develops into adult moth. So this is the whole silk moth life cycle. Now let us see the formation of cocoon. First, the caterpillar weaves a net to hold itself. Then it swings its head from side to side in a form of figure 8. During this movement of the head, the caterpillar secretes fiber made up of protein, which hardens on the exposure of air and becomes silk fiber. Okay, so in this video you might be able to see it very properly. Now let us take a look on the type of moths. There is a variety of silk moth which look very different from one another, and silk yarn is different in texture, coarse, smooth, shiny, etc. Most common silk moth is mulberry silk moth used in sericulture. So these are different kind of silk moth which you can see, mulberry moth, then tassar moth, muga moth, airy moth, which are present in different regions, and they yield different varieties of silk yarn, sorry. And also mulberry silk moth or mulberry moth is very much common moth which is used in sericulture. It yields a lustrous and elastic kind of silk. Now next is from cocoon to silk. So rearing of silkworm. Let us see how silkworm are reared to get the silk fibers. A female silk moth lay hundreds of eggs at a time. The eggs are sorted carefully on the strips of cloth or paper. So this picture shows you how the eggs are sorted on the strip of paper. These eggs are then incubated under suitable conditions of temperature and humidity. When larvae hatch from the egg, they are fed on mulberry leaves in a clean bamboo trays. So these are the bamboo trays on which they are kept. After 20 to 30 days, they stop eating and start spinning cocoons. These cocoons get attached to the smaller twigs provided in the trays. So in this you can see the cocoons which are present. Inside the cocoons, silk moth develops. Okay. So these are the smaller cocoons which get attached to the tray, bamboo tray which is provided, in which the silk moth starts developing. The pupa starts developing into the silk moth. Now next part is the processing of silk. So now let us see how we get silk from these cocoons. The cocoons are boiled or exposed to steam so that the silk fibers separate out. So in this video you can see how they are boiled and the silk fibers are getting out from the cocoon. The process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use of silk is called as reeling the silk. Reeling is done in a special machines which unwinds the fibers of silk from the cocoons. So this is the specialized machine which unwinds the fibers from the cocoons. Silk fibers are then spun into silk threads which are woven into silk cloth. So this is the final product which we get from the silk fibers, that is a silk cloth. So I hope all the process are clear. From the life cycle of silk moth till the processing of silk from this cocoon, everything is very much clear. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Till then, stay home, stay safe and keep studying.